Hi, I'm thinking about a couple. They're hypothetical, Sylvia and Dan. Dan decided he was gonna run out to his truck and get something out of there. And while he ran out, he left his phone on the coffee table. And Sylvia happened to walk by and noticed that he was getting a text message. And when she looked down, just innocently looked down, she noticed that he was getting text messages on the weekend from one of his female coworkers. And when she picked it up to look further, the information that she was seeing on that text message was very personal and seemed to have a hint of inappropriateness and the possibility that maybe these two individuals, her husband and the coworker, were having some type of affair. I am wanting to look at why everyone is talking about relationship rebuilding after infidelity in 2025. I'm going to go ahead and look at relationship as if it's like a set of Legos and they're all supposed to be stacked up and forming some kind of strong creation. There you go. But first, I want to talk about what those pieces might be. There is a thing that's called an intimacy pyramid. I just want to actually go back and let you all know who I am. Why do I know about this stuff? My name is Cheryl Camarillo. I'm a licensed clinical social worker, a certified sex addiction therapist, and a certified sex therapist. I also specialize in a lot of trauma issues, and I've been working with couples, helping them to reestablish connection again. So I am looking at these Legos and I'm thinking this relationship has crashed and it's no longer one solid, strong creation. Okay. If I were to take a look at this section here and I would say what two things are needed in the relationship, I would say first and foremost, you need to reestablish truth and honesty. The truth and honesty has been gone in the relationship when you've had a secret behavior that you've been acting out in. Your behavior, the betrayed partner or your family has no idea that these things are going on with their family member. So, truth and honesty. And then the next one up is going to be the importance of having safety. So, reestablishing the emotional safety, the psychological safety, the safety of the partner, as well as any type of physical issue, such as perhaps your partner's actually had a physical affair and had unprotected sex, then it's going to be important that you go out there and have yourself tested for sexually transmitted diseases. The other thing could be that your partner's been acting out and has been doing it in illegal ways, such as using escorts or massage parlors. And there was a high possibility that they could have been caught, and that could have led to all kinds of ripple effects of problems related to who all got to find out about it, the legal ramifications, the possibility of a job ending. Safety is one of the areas that is important to the rebuilding of the relationship. Another area that needs to be rebuilt is this concept of empathy. Do you understand, if you were the person that was acting out, do you understand the pain and the emotional and psychological impact that you've created for your partner, or even maybe some of the ripple effects to your children, whether they're young or whether they're teens or they're adults? No matter what, it always hurts to see parents who aren't getting along and having behaviors that create pain for the other parent. Empathy is important. You are able to acknowledge that you understand the pain that you've created and that you have a sense of sorrow for what you've done. The next area that is important for rebuilding in a relationship or needs to be there the majority of the time is not going to be just these three. We're going to add in another one, which is a sense of trust. Trust is important to a relationship because it means that the individual who's been betrayed can start to have a reduced sense of anger or a reduced sense of anxiety and is willing to give the partner the benefit of the doubt if they are saying that they are making changes, are in treatment, that there's some obvious signs that has occurred. Trust is another big building block to relationship. The next one that comes in after trust is going to be connection. It's going to be really important that you have connection with your partner and that you truly understand what each other needs and that you are working together and not working separately, doing your own thing, and possibly feeling alone and lost in your difficulties. Connection is really important. Another piece to that is actually also allowing yourself to be vulnerable again in the relationship. If you're being vulnerable, then you're able to lower your guard and trust that your partner is going to take the information or whatever it is that you share and respect that and honor that and not create more distrust. So vulnerability is important in a relationship. You don't want to have a partner that you are concerned that you might have broken trust or fighting occur. And then this last piece is going to be the intimacy piece. And when I talk about intimacy, I am talking about all levels of intimacy. I'm talking about sexual, physical, emotional, relational, spiritual, financial. There's so many different ways that a couple enjoys true, close connection and has an understanding of each other's needs and is willing to meet each other's needs. This is my representation of what goes on in a relationship or what needs to be there. If you were going to add some more of your own things that are important to your relationship, what would that be? I know when I think back on my relationship, the important pieces was to see not just empathy for the hurt that you've caused, but compassion. My husband had a strong sense of wanting to help other people. He's one of those individuals that you would say he'd give his shirt off his back to someone if that's what they needed to survive. The other thing that was important to me in a relationship was going to be humor. I really valued the opportunity to laugh with my partner, which means that I also have to have a high degree of safety and an opportunity to be vulnerable and not feel like I'm going to be hurt again by my partner. And then if you are struggling with this and you have no idea how to put these pieces back together, please consider seeking out a certified sex addiction therapist or reaching out to someone that has specialized in infidelity. And when I talk about cheating, I'm talking about all types of cheating, whether it's sexting, emotional affairs, affairs with other people, the use of massage parlors, the use of escorts, the use of pornography. All of those things exist in our society. And if you need to rebuild all of these pieces of the relationship, it's pretty important that you discuss ways to make sure that those behaviors are extinguished. I want to thank you for joining me, and I hope this information is going to continue to help you grow. When I think about Sylvia and Dan and witnessing the text messages that she found, what she ended up doing was asking him to seek out a therapist that specialized in this area. He also started going to support groups, and he blocked all numbers to anybody that she would consider possibly a threat to the relationship. And he did that out of respect. He also kept his Life 360 on, and he'd had some pornography use. So he went ahead and put an app on his phone that made reports if he was accessing anything sexually inappropriate, including sending pictures. And those things would be things like Bark or Covenant Eyes. I just believe in providing as much information as I can to couples so that they can help move through this and reestablish all the pieces that make a healthy relationship. Bye.